Please read the disclaimer. XRP holders, I can't believe it. It's official. We'll talk about what's official and what's going on with the crypto market, what's going on with XRP, what's going on with me. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, or those of you that had no idea, I live in Israel and we have been part of the current conflict that is going on right now in the world. And there has been a lot of sirens. We might have to stop the video in the middle if there is a siren, but usually we get a notification to the phone about 10 minutes before, so I'll know. It usually doesn't come as a surprise when they come from Iran, but still, so that just so you know, that could possibly happen while we are recording. During the night, just an update, there was a lots of sirens. I didn't sleep very well, but it is what it is. So let's get into it officially, right? The supreme leader of Iran he was removed right from the equation after putting in a very saying that all kinds of things were going to happen. He, like the others, was removed from the equation, and the markets are liking this. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are talking about what the markets are going to do Monday morning. And there's, a few schools of thought here that potentially we could have a situation where right now, the only people that are trading the crypto market is mostly retail, right? Institutions, the firms that manipulates the crypto market through the ETFs, they are not trading right now for the most part. Some of them are, but for the most part, they're not. A lot of money into the stock market that could potentially come here is not trading right now. And the fact that the market kind of recovered off of the initial news and also pumped on the initial news of Khamenei being removed from the equation, that could just be retail that has got a little bit excited. There's a lot of talk about this. Elon tweeted out that it was their highest usage day on X ever, meaning that this is something that has a lot of social impact, that is very interesting to a lot of people. And so that is creating a situation where we have, of course, XRP that is sitting right now at $1.38. Bitcoin is at 67,000. Ethereum up to almost 2% here, is 1.74. It was over 2,000, but pulled back a little bit. So again, Sunday movements, Saturday movements are always tricky. We've seen many times in the past that Sunday night we see a sell-off into Monday morning. So we'll see what happens there. The thinking right now is that it's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news, or opposite, right? It's sell the news, so sell the rumor, buy the news, right? This is what the thinking is now, that there was months of anticipation. Will they, won't they? Will US, Israel attack Iran? Won't they? Right? What's going to happen there? And there was a lot of fear in the market in the short term. Now, once this event happens and the market sees that it's not that bad, right? That, okay, yes, there's some, there's a situation here, but for the markets, is it detrimental? Will they close the Strait of Hormuz? Will they not? What will happen to oil prices? Right now, we are seeing gold and silver popping a little bit, right? You can see gold is up about 1.88%, and silver is up a little bit more, so 6.25% at 93. So basically almost the highest it's been since we had that big sell-off. So precious metals is telling us that, money is going into precious metals, is buying precious metals. The theory behind there is, okay, is money, looking for risk off right now? We'll see. Again, sometimes what happens in the markets is they predict what's going to happen. So let's say there's a financial crisis and you might be, in the thick of the financial crisis, but suddenly the markets start rising, right? Because the market is anticipating that 6 months from now, things are going to be good, right? Many times investors, they'll predict what's going to happen in 6 months from now. Not what's happening today, tomorrow, or the next day, but what's happening in a longer potential time frame. So again, maybe the markets will say, okay, this now conflict, they're going to end it. Maybe it will take a week or two, but we're going to start buying because in a week or two, it's going to end and we want to front end it. We want to, get in before that could happen. On the flip side, you could have investors right now that are freaking out. They're scared that oil is going to spike and that the whole world is going to go into turmoil. And that could also happen. There's going to be two schools of people that are going to be talking right now over the weekend. Nobody knows until we open up Monday, Tuesday, and we see what is eventually going to happen. Okay. And it's funny right now, as I'm speaking, the market is selling off a little bit, but XRP actually demonstrates a very interesting price action over this weekend. It went from the support zone all the way to the resistance, right? So again, technical analysis sometimes can be a very, very important tool and can give you entry points to, add assets or sell assets if you are day trading. You can see like for here, it got rejected, but then broke through, right, at this resistance area or support area, depending on where you're coming from. So you can always day trade these situations. You just have to be careful, okay? Our partner BTCC is giving you an amazing opportunity right now. If you want to take advantage of these extreme movements, right? You can get 30% deposit bonus. This is not for everybody. This is only for us, 30% deposit bonus. Take advantage of this. If you're on a different exchange, transfer over, use this 30% deposit bonus. It's not something that they're giving out to everybody. Usually they give 10% for signups. Now they're giving me 30%. So if you're already trading and you want to support the channel, this is how you can do so. Link is in the description down below, and sign up now and get that 30% deposit bonuses as soon as it's going to end. Okay. And you can take advantage if you have and you see support and resistance areas, you can take profits. If you see a rejection here and you see a pullback, okay, day trade, right? But again, day trades are very risky, so please trade responsibly, okay? And if you do use my link, I will get a commission, so thank you for that. Also, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never DM you. I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or send me anything. Those are scammers, those are imposters. Please be very careful out there. Okay. Now, what could potentially happen here? Things could escalate again, and that is the fear here right now. Iran just stated that they're going to hit very hard today, harder than they ever hit before. They better not do that. However, because if they do, we will hit them with a force they have never seen before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. The Iranians are a lot of talk, but we'll see. Again, there was an hour this morning that it was like just one after the other after the other. It was like an hour and a half of just in the bomb shelter, right? And so, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of different strikes than last time. So last time they were more like huge amounts, and then so maybe they would send like 30 or 40 ballistic missiles at the same time. Now they're doing like they're they're being annoying, right? They're sending like one or two, and so the system sees these and it turns on the sirens. You have to go into the bomb shelter, but many times it gets intercepted in space. You don't even hear it, right? So it's a lot more annoying, but less dangerous. What potentially could happen here is every single ballistic missile costs them money, and a lot of money, right? A few $1,000,000 each one. And so the more they send, the more it hits their balance sheet. And they're already in the toilet on their balance sheet. So the longer this happens, the more money that they're using, the worse situation they're going to have. Okay. And so that's a factor as well. Financially, they could ruin themselves. They're already ruined, but they could ruin themselves even more. And that could be a factor for them saying, okay, we're done, right? Another factor here is that not a lot of people are talking about is the fact that Trump has gone after Venezuela, he's gone after now Iran. Those were two of the main suppliers of confiscated oil to China. And this could be an attack from Trump on risk. So this could also be a situation where we could have soon a situation around that. Moreover, we've talked about the crypto that the Iranian government was holding. We've talked about, actually, there's a lot of also Bitcoin rigs in Iran because they have cheap energy there, subsidized energy from the government. And then potentially we could have a situation where we have a flood of Bitcoin into the market. We don't really know how this is going to happen, right? We don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know what they are going to do with their crypto. What are the Iranian people going to do with their crypto? Because many of them moved their money into crypto when they saw what was happening, and their money was debasing, their money was losing so much value. We could have, again, a situation where they start selling or they start moving. So there's a lot of factors on the table still, and we'll find out over the next few days how that is going to develop. Interestingly, the crypto fear and greed index is at the highest that it's been for a while, right? Since February 9th. So, February 9th, where were we? Right? We were after the sell-off, the big sell-off, but interestingly, we're back to double digits and the highest we've been in a while, right? So the January 31st, of course, before February 5th, when we had the big crash, we were higher, but maybe we can get back to those levels if the market feels that there's less fear in the market. And it's interesting, the poly market has been surging. People are there, and I read of a bot that had been doing amazing on poly market, and it bet against a U.S. strike on Iran, and it lost all the money, like $3 or $4 million. But the contract for the removal of Khamenei alone, $45 million in volume. So there was a lot of action there. People, the same way they're here, right, on X, they're also here, potentially seeing what's going to happen. So this is a very interesting change in how we look at news going forward. And here, this was, talking about what could potentially happen here with Venezuela oil and Iranian oil not coming. So there could be a little bit of a oil squeeze on Monday. Again, we'll see how that happens, what plays out there, and we'll see how that plays. Of course, we also have the Clarity Act, right? We didn't forget about that. That's also, remember, Trump said he wanted March 1st. That didn't happen, but potentially by the end of this month of March, we could see a agreement here. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, saying that a deal is ready if U.S. banks want it. Crypto firms are ready for a deal, so it seems that they are ready. They're the things that are on the table are okay with most of the crypto firms. We'll see what Coinbase says, because they were the one that pulled out. So what do they say? And so that's going to be very interesting. And JP Morgan says the Clarity Act could be the catalyst crypto needs, with clear regulatory framework potentially unlocking institutional capital and driving significant upside into 2026, right? So you could have a situation where the Ayatollah is removed, the regime is toast, the liquidity flow like Niagara, right? The ISM PMI will rip to 80. Remember, it's over 50, so that was something that we were looking at. Bond yields potentially will plummet here. DXY will drop. Bitcoin will skyrocket. This is all potential, right? Is this the moment, right? We'll see. But there's always the positive, and I give you also the negative. Benjamin says, oftentimes risk assets sell off, then bounce as major conflicts start, right? If a rally for Bitcoin does materialize, it will likely yield a lower high March, just like it did in 2022. Bear markets tend to take a while to play out, right? So if Benjamin is referring here that in 2022, February of 2022, which was 4 years ago exactly, we had the start of the Russia-Ukraine war. And then after the announcement, there was this kind of rally after it all started. Like there was initial shock, sell-off, right? And then it rallied. That kind of came like it was more of will they, won't they? It wasn't a huge surprise, but it was a surprise. This here, the Iran-Israel war with Iran, right? You could say it's not actually the U.S. in Israel only, because Iran has attacked UAE, right? There's a lot of crypto people in Dubai and Abu Dhabi that are now like feeling what I'm usually feeling. Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan, Saudi Arabia. Apparently, the Ben Suleiman, right, the successor, right, in Saudi Arabia, actually wanted Trump to go after the supreme leader. So that was very interesting. He was like, "Oh, make peace, make peace," but apparently reports are coming out that he was actually pushing Trump to do this. So this is a very interesting development. The Saudis and the Iranians, they always have had their clashes between themselves, Shia and Sunni. It's a very complicated, interesting situation that's going on right now. Again, we could see a pop here next week. We could see a dump. It's all in flux. There could be a little bit of run and then a sell off. It's a very complex situation. Remember, in 2022, Benjamin's referring this, but again, in 2022, we had the parabolic run. In 2026, we haven't had the parabolic run yet. So again, my theory is, and again, maybe I'm wrong about this, is because we didn't have the one extreme, we're not going to have the other extreme. We'll see. Again, anything can happen. The market has changed. AI has changed a lot of things, and where money is going. Poly market has changed a lot of things. So we'll see. So far, again, weekends, Sunday, fun day, things can change, things can happen, things are dynamic. Stay on your toes. I will stay on mine. Knock on wood, we didn't get any sirens or any notifications. I need to go to the supermarket. I wasn't prepared. Let's see if there's anything left. Like, there's probably going to be a lot of people. And hopefully I don't have to. Once, when I was younger in university, I was living in a place that had a lot of rockets that were sent there. And I went to the supermarket and there was a siren. And so I was like, okay, what do we do? Do you have a bomb shelter here in the supermarket? And the girl said, no, we go into the freezer, the built-in freezer. I was like, okay, let's go. So we stood in the freezer for like 10 minutes. It was cold. It was cold. So this is just the kind of things that happen sometimes, and you deal with it, you flow with it. I've been dealing with this for like the last 10, 15 years. So it's nothing that I'm too excited about. I have been telling you on the channel that when I see markets move or markets sell off, I don't use the word fear because I'm going to save it for the conflicts, right? That's when you have a little bit more fear. And again, the fear is because I've been through this before, the fear is not as great as it maybe once was, but you still have to be careful because you don't know. Like my oldest son, he's getting a little bit restless because last time, right, like I told you, they sent a lot more missiles, right, each time. So there's a lot more explosions and booms. This time around, there's not really. So he's like, well, we keep going into the bomb shelter, nothing's happening, right? So maybe we don't go in, right? Or things like that. And you don't know. Maybe this time is so you have to be diligent and always go in. And so, it's hard to explain, you explain to him, but he's getting older. He understands a little bit more. So he's like, becoming a teenager. It's like, Dad, I don't want to do this. The smaller ones, they listen, right? They go in, but he's like, he's taking his time, right? He's not moving, so we got to pinch him a little bit. So it is what it is. I'll continue, of course, to update you every single day. Make sure you're subscribed. Ring the bell so you don't miss out on any breaking news or anything that happens and we need to talk about. Drop a comment, 8 for Infinity and beyond. The easiest thing you can do is smash the like button. We should get at least 10%. So at least 1,000 likes, at least 2,000 likes. That's what I'm hoping from you guys to support. That's the easiest thing you can do, right? No super thanks or anything. Like, that's the easiest thing you can do. Okay. Don't forget to do all those things I just mentioned. Check out BTCC in the description down below. Again, that is an affiliate link, so I will get a commission. So thank you for that. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.